The flappers. So here's the thing. I knew Hu Tao C1 was good, but I did not know how to scale it. Since Hu Tao's Constellation 1 is what I like to call a function constellation, meaning it adds function rather than a straight up damage boost. And in fact, function constellations on many occasions are far superior than simple damage constellations. And there are some function constellations that also increase damage, such as Fischl's Constellation 1, where not only does it add function, but also more damage. Now, why am I mentioning this? That's because when I originally saw Hu Tao's Constellation 1, I knew it was going to be great, but man, oh man, I did not know what I was about to get into with this one. So this constellation, just like the rest of Hu Tao, is more nuanced than it seems. So in this video, I will dive in and break down Hu Tao's Constellation 1 to show you all just how to take full advantage of it, as well as comparing it to something like the Staff of Homa and asking the question, if you can only get one, is it better to go for the Staff of Homa or Hu Tao's Constellation 1? But before we start, I'd like to let you all know that later in this video, I will be announcing the winner to my giveaway, so if you are curious, do stay tuned. Anyways, on screen, you have been seeing a clip I recorded fighting the level 90 child boss. As you may have noticed, I barely struggled against this boss, especially with Hu Tao being able to chunk almost half of his HP with a big crit. Now, this Hu Tao I am currently showing is a Constellation 0 Hu Tao, so I was constantly running into energy issues. In fact, at Constellation 0, it is extremely difficult to get off the 9 full charge attacks that you can do in the span of her skill. Pairing that with having to dodge lethal hits, you likely will get out maybe 4 or 5 dashes if you are well positioned, and using jump cancel to avoid using stamina to dodge attacks or reposition yourself towards the enemy. Well, the issue with that is you are almost never getting off the full 9 charge attacks. You can see this as Hu Tao at Constellation 0 only being able to draw out around 50% of her potential. So what Constellation 1 essentially does is draw out the remaining 50%. And holy smokes, is it powerful. Now, another thing with Constellation 1 Hu Tao is that due to the mechanics of dash cancels, you are actually able to fit in a 10th charge attack in if you time it well with your dash cancel. That means not only is this constellation offering a new function, through practice you are also able to unlock more damage, but it's not written on the constellation like Fischl. Hence, I think if Hu Tao's Constellation 1 is fully mastered, is going to be the best C1 we have seen to date, even outdoing Ganyu C1. The reason I say that is because while Ganyu C1 offers 2 additional functions, they are spread out. And prior to Hu Tao, I would say Ganyu's Constellation 1 likely stood as one of, if not the best constellation boosts in the game. However, allow me to demonstrate just how absurd Hu Tao's Constellation 1 is compared to other options you have. In the beginning of this video, I mentioned that I will discuss with you whether Staff of Homa or Constellation 1 was going to provide a bigger boost for Hu Tao's damage. So here I am using a level 80 Vortex Vanquisher, Constellation 1 Hu Tao versus a level 90 Staff of Homa, Constellation 0 Hu Tao. And let me tell you, the results were nowhere close. Constellation 1 Hu Tao completely smashed it out of the park with a level 80 Vortex Vanquisher. People, the Vortex Vanquisher isn't even in the top 3 best weapons for Hu Tao. This is actually mind-boggling how big of a difference Hu Tao's Constellation 1 is. And it makes sense. If we recall back to what I said earlier, you essentially go from 5 dashes per skill window to 10 dashes per skill window. On screen, you can see a split screen comparison with C0 being on the left and C1 on the right. The difference in damage output is nearly doubled, but not quite. I'd say from what I found, it's around a 40% increase. This is insanely efficient, but I can show you that we can definitely take this higher. If we just take it for face value, the potential increase in damage is 100% because you used to do 5 dashes and now you do 10 dashes. But of course, my results here does not reflect that, and that is because I did not fully utilize Hu Tao's kit. What am I talking about? Well, that is the dash cancel mechanic. Yes, The dash cancel becomes an essential part of Hu Tao's kit after you get her Constellation 1. And for anyone considering getting Hu Tao's Constellation 1, just know that the better you are at dash canceling, the more damage you will do. Which brings me to my next point, playstyle changes. When playing Hu Tao at Constellation 0, it is not advised to use dash cancels as much because it eats too much into your stamina pool and can often get you killed. The thing with Constellation 1 Hu Tao is that even when your stamina drains to 0, you can still use your charge attack. There's nothing holding you back. Like, oh, I'm completely out of stamina. Does that mean my charge attacks also don't activate? That is not the case. During your elemental skill window, your charge attack essentially has 0 cost and 0 cooldown. Think of it just like your normal attacks. So it is not affected by your stamina being at 0. And because of how fast the charge attack is triggered, you oftentimes realize that you don't even need to use dash to dodge anymore. You can use your charge attacks to double as a dodge. And the best part is I found that when you are in the animation of your charge attack, you cannot be interrupted, which makes chaining attacks incredibly easy because the only time you can be interrupted is the brief window of your charge attack windup. And when in your butterfly state, that is like a third of a second. It can almost be treated as an iframe, but not quite. It's insanely good, and Constellation 1 gives it to you without drawbacks. So during today's live stream, we picked a winner and it was Alan Torres Galvan. Thank you to all who joined in the live stream and supported me. I look forward to our next live stream and to more giveaways in the future. Anyways, just to let you all know, Alan has already claimed his prize, so let's just get right back into the video. After mentioning all that, you may be wondering, okay Walrus, I get it. C1 is good, but are there any drawbacks? Anything that I need to worry about? And to that, I do have one thing that I have noticed, and it's something we just mentioned, and that is the reliance on dash canceling. That is really just it. If you are someone who feels like they need to get the value out of every single dollar they spend, I can assure you that you likely will never be able to get the full value out of Hu Tao's Constellation 1, because in order to do so, it would mean for every butterfly mode, you are doing 10 dashes, which if you have not tried, it's not easy, okay? It's not easy to do. Now add bosses or mobs to the picture and you can see that it's going to be extremely difficult to be getting out all 10 dashes every single time. But that's not a problem because the potential is always there. It's always going to be available as long as you are willing to put in the work to practice the animation canceling. Now, on the other hand, if you are someone who detests these gimmicks and prefer to just use the dash for what it is, no cancels, no hassles, you may be wondering, are you still going to be able to feel a difference? And to that, I say, yes, you will, to a lesser degree. You should be able to expect at least a 20% damage increase. And that also depends on the device you are playing on and your ping. If you are playing on PC and have low input lag, this constellation provides more value than if you are playing with 300 ping on a mobile device. At the end of the day, C1 will provide value regardless of your circumstances. Just know that this constellation has huge potentials that of which you likely will not be able to attain in the short time. Personally, I feel Hu Tao's Constellation 1 has dethroned Ganyu's in becoming the single best constellation a unit can get in relations to the character's growth. So if you are going for her Constellation 1, best of luck to you. And that is it from me. Make sure to like and subscribe as I do giveaways every now and then, so make sure to turn that bell on to enter when you see them pop up. I am very close to 15k subs. In fact, depending on when you watch this, I may already be past 15,000. Thanks to everyone who supported me through this journey, and I hope to reach newer highs with you all. Anyways, for my 15k subscriber special, I have something very special planned for you all, so stay tuned, and until tomorrow's video, stay safe and peace.